Hey, and welcome back. I'm really sorry about the long absence since my last video. It's been about 3 weeks, almost a month, since I've produced any videos. And it's been more than that since I produced my last miniature painting video. So, there are many reasons for this, most of them excuses. The truth is that it gets very easy to make excuses about not setting up all of this equipment when I'm starting to work, and especially if I feel like I'm falling behind, which I definitely felt like I was doing recently. As always, my primary focus has to be on finishing work for my commission clients. That's number one. The videos are fun and cool, and I enjoy doing them, even if I do have a tendency to put them off at times. But they're secondary. They are not my primary means of paying the bills. Well, I guess technically neither are the commission painting projects, but you know what I mean, because these things are all related. But there's actually, in addition to the normal excuses for not firing up the camera, I've actually had some good reasons. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I had some surgery on my eyelids, and this was not a face that you wanted to look at for a while. And I did some board game videos, or some board game review videos, which I really enjoy doing with my son. I hope you've seen those. And even the last one I wasn't even in. Again, didn't want to look at this face. Where was I? Right, the board game reviews. So did some of those. One of my computers went down. I got a new one. I'm liking this one. It's all touch. It's all special. And my schedule at the store changed. I'm actually doing a lot more hours at the store. And while I used to have 2 days off in a row, now they are staggered. And I didn't realize how much that was going to sort of change my productivity. When I have 2 days in a row, I can have one day where maybe I'm feeling a little less than productive, but I would usually roll right into the next day where I'd be super productive. I don't know why that was, but that's how it was. And so breaking those 2 days up means that if I have a non-productive day, I have a non-productive day, and the next day I go and work at the store, and then I come back, I have another day off, and maybe I have another non-productive day, and I don't know why that is. So that's really made me feel like I'm falling behind, and to a certain extent I guess I am falling behind. In any case, there we are. But really why I wanted to do this update was to let you all know that I am going to be at Gencon this year. I'm going to be at the Iwata booth, which is booth number, I believe it's 2637. I'm having trouble reading this, but I'm going to put it like right there, maybe with a map or something, showing you right where it's going to be. Here's the easy way to find us, as I've scoured over the map to see who we are near. We are going to be just steps away from the Drop Zone Commander booth, Hawk War Games booth. They are just south of us. They will be, if you see Hawk War Games and all of the Drop Zone Commander stuff, just know that the Iwata booth is going to be nearby. Iwata, by the way, airbrushes. We'll be selling airbrushes. We're going to be demonstrating airbrushes. So if you've ever wanted to know about airbrushes, that would be the place to be. We're going to be taking turns, working on various projects. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be working on while I'm there. I sort of have a hankering to do a repaint of the Tantive 4 Rebel Blockade Runner. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might. I might just work on whatever is currently on my bench, because that's going to be a week where I'm not going to be here, and that means I'll be falling behind, and I don't want to do that. And if you ever wanted to just say hi, if you ever saw my videos before, you know you're going to be at Gencon, you're like, hey, I want to say hi to that guy Jay. Well, there I am, and you can come do it. So that'll be awesome. I haven't been to Gencon in at least, I'm going to say 5 years. I think it's been about 5 years. I used to go every year without fail, normally for work. And I miss it. I really miss going there. I'm going to bring my camera equipment, and I will be shooting video while I'm there to then publish when I get back. And so you'll be able to see the video that I shot sometime in, well, late August, early September. We'll see when that gets done. Actually, if the new computer works out, I might work on editing video while I'm there. How crazy would that be? So, there's that. What I've been working on recently is some Super Dungeon Explorer minis for one of my regular clients. And I'm actually going to be doing some retooling of some of the colors. I kind of dropped the ball a little bit. We had a little miscommunication. I love how they turned out, but you know, if it ain't right, it ain't right. I'm also working on some Gray Knights. Specifically, I've got 4 Ghost Knights. And if you don't recall, I did some Ghost Knights for another client at least a year ago. I'll put a link thing in this general vicinity so that you can go take a look. Now the interesting thing is, the last time I did Ghost Knights, they were conversions done by the client, and I painted them. In this case, I'm doing the conversions and painting them. And I'm kind of excited about it, because while I enjoyed painting those last Ghost Knights, I did feel like I could have done a better job had I done the conversion, and now I'm getting the chance to prove that. Or not. It'll be at least as good, I promise. In addition to that, I've got a librarian that I'm doing, and then whoever the hell the Ghost Knight guy is, who's, wow, his name is just escaping me right now. You know, the guy who calls them forth. His name is... Here, it's right here. See? I thought it, and it appeared right in the air. Yeah, so that's another thing that I'm doing. I'm going to be doing some more Drop Zone Commander stuff in the near future. I actually have another army that I'll be doing. And hey, so here's a little preview of something else I'm working on. So another thing that I wanted to talk about today was a project that I've been working on recently. Let me give you a little history. A while back, let's say the mid to late 90s, I started creating decals for modeling and miniatures gaming. Modeling and miniatures gaming. I don't know why that had trouble getting that out. Anyway, and it continued on through early 2000. It eventually got turned into part of the game store, Greenfield Games, that I currently own. But the decals were created by me and printed by me using a desktop printer called an Alps printer. Sometime in the early 2000s, the Alps no longer was available. So as printers died, we had to replace them, and that became harder and harder and more expensive to do. So we experimented with doing some traditional screen print decals, but we never fully recovered from the loss of the Alps printer, and eventually just sort of gave up on the thing altogether. So recently, with the advent of Kickstarter, I decided that I was going to try to bring back the decal line, and again back to traditional screen printing, but rather than fund a set of decals and then try to sell those decals, I'm going to throw it up on Kickstarter. And the plan is that I have a bunch of designs. I'm going to choose one, and I've already been sort of making the rounds and asking people, what's currently needed in decals. And keep in mind, these have primarily been for 40K players, more specifically for Space Marine players, because there's a real niche there that isn't being filled, and Games Workshop has never been good at decals. In any case, I've already been asking around for what people think they need. One of the things that's been coming up a lot is Roman numerals, and that was one of the designs that we had. So at the moment, that may end up that's my current at the top of the running for what will be the starter set, or the starting decal set for the Kickstarter. And then the idea would be stretch goals would be other designs. So, we get X number of sales, and we do design number 2, Y number of sales, we do design number 3, and I'm trying to put together an exhaustive list of the things that I can easily do, because I already have art for them, and then we could also take other suggestions for things that could be done. There have been no other decal Kickstarters recently, or ever, actually. I've looked. Stickers, yes. Water transfers, no. So I could be the first if I get this out fast enough. And now that I'm telling you all, I'm sure at least one of you is thinking, I could probably do that. Don't do it. It's me. Anyway, so that's a thing. And if you have any suggestions of your own for Warhammer 40K related decals that you might like to see, really, I can't do, and I've already gone through this with Games Workshop once in the past, and I don't want to go through it again. I can't do their trademark design, or copyrighted designs. I can do things that they do that they can't copyright, and I have done that for a long time. Things like the Iron Cross, which is what the Black Templars use. Anything essentially heraldic I can do. I have some griffins. I've got stars and circles and arrows and things like that. Things that are just sort of universal designs, and those are all available to turn into decals at a moment's notice. All I need to do is figure out what people want to see. So, again, I would love to hear your ideas about this. Anything that you think that you need that are not things that are specific GW imagery. Can't do that. I've also been talking with some of the Infinity players in the Infinity forums, and I've got some ideas there, but that actually might take a little more time and may not be a part of the initial Kickstarter. I may do a separate one just for Infinity. Sort of different scaling, completely different ideas. Really a lot more thought needs to go into it, and none of what I have now is necessarily applicable. So there's that. Anyway, at this point, I need to get to work, and this is, again, feeling like one of those not terribly productive days, so, well, that's unfortunate. But I'm working on the Grey Knights, and maybe I'll do a look at that in more detail. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch this. I really do like to hear your comments, so if you have any comments, please leave them. If you liked this video, it always helps if you like the video. You know, click the little like button. And if this is the first time you're seeing anything from me, well, this is kind of a weird place to start, but hey, if you like this and you want to see more, subscribe. That's all I'm saying. And that's going to be it for now, and I will talk to y'all later.